Welcome aspirants. Welcome aspirants in Edukemy's case study session. ठीक है? So today we are going to do a case study on a topic that has been in the news so many times in the last couple of years. Topic है आपका that is Glacial Lake Outburst Flood. And here we have picked up the case of South Lonak Lake. South Lonak Lake, this has experienced the Glacial Lake Outburst Flood in the year 2023. Okay, this was a very hazardous event that had occurred there in the year 2023, and South Lonak Lake is in Sikkim. Okay, so before we proceed for the case study, let us see some of the PYQs that we can align with this particular case study. So these are the PYQs. You can see it on a screen. First is explain the causes of glacial lake outburst flood. The question has been asked in the year 2025. Recent का question है 10 marker question. And other is examine the problems of glacial lake outburst flood in India. This was again of 10 marks and was asked in the year 2019. ठीक है? Although this case study is about the glacial lake outburst, but you can use it in multiple themes. ठीक है? Remember, you have the resources, but you must know how to use these resources. और इसका एक मैं बताऊंगा कि थीम कौन कौन सी होती है. बेसिकली यू कैन यूज इट इन ऑब्वियसली ग्लेशियर लेक आउटबर्स्ट फ्लड है तो यू कैन स्ट्रेट अवे यूज इट इन ग्लेशियर लेक आउटबर्स्ट फ्लड. Apart from this, you can use where the question is related to climate change and global warming. ठीक है, वहां पे भी कहीं आप इसको लिख सकते हैं. फाइन. अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट और भी थीम्स हो सकती हैं लाइक ग्लेशियल रिट्रीट और ग्लेशियल मेल्टिंग को लेके इज देयर एनी क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, ग्लेशियल मेल्टिंग, ग्लेशियर रिट्रीट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस you can do it for sustainable development. ठीक है, because this case study also exposes कि how the mindless development or headless development can brought numerous disasters in any region. ठीक है, so we must adopt the sustainable development rather than going for the mindless development, the way the rampant development, the way our planners, our administrators, our governments are going in every area or every region. ठीक है, so you can use this case study for any of the question that is related to environmental hazards of Himalayas. ठीक है, काफी क्वेश्चन आते हैं environmental hazards हिमालयास को लेके. And you can also include this case study if the question is asking you anything about the consequences of earthquake, क्योंकि earthquake का भी इसमें एंगल है एक. ठीक है, so all these are the themes, all these are the type of questions where you can use this case study. So before I start the case study, let us see some of the map of Sikkim. सिक्किम का एक बेसिक मैप देख लेंगे so that you will have an idea about the mapping also. ठीक है, तो आई एम ड्राइंग रफ मैप हियर, रफ मैप ऑफ सिक्किम. ठीक है, एंड यहाँ पे जो है ऑन टॉप इन द नॉर्थ वेस्ट पार्ट वी हैव अ साउथ लोनक लेक. ठीक है, और ये वाला पार्ट जो है दैट इज तिब्बत. ऑन दिस साइड वी हैव नेपाल. फाइन. ऑन दिस साइड वी हैव भूटान. ऑन दिस साइड वी हैव अ चुम्बी वैली. This Chumbi Valley is a strategic place and it is also a bone of contention between India and China. ठीक है, near Chumbi Valley, there is a place called Doklam. You might have heard about the Doklam standoff in the year 2020 during the COVID-19 and all. ठीक है, and कुछ रिवर्स दिखा देता हूँ, although बहुत ज्यादा रिवर्स नहीं है यहाँ पे, but couple of rivers are there. One river is that this one. This is river La Chenchu. River La Chenchu. And another river emerging from here combines with it. Its name is River La Chungchu. ठीक है, Both these small streams combine and they form a one very long stream that is being called as Teesta. Okay, this is the river Teesta. Then Teesta river है ये. And Teesta river also has a very famous tributary, that is river Rangit. It has been asked once in the prelims also. यहाँ से निकलेगा and it joins river Teesta, river Rangit. ठीक है. And you can locate the capital city of Sikkim, that is Gangtok, here only. यहाँ पे है आपका Gangtok. ठीक है. These are the couple of rivers that are important ones in Sikkim, and they are bordered by China, Nepal, Bhutan in different directions. ठीक है. एक और मैप देख लेते हैं to get an insights about the some of the parks. Again, a map of Sikkim, a rough map. Here, a very famous park is that is Singba Rhododendron Park. ठीक है. This is Singba Rhododendron Park. This side we have Keetam Bird Sanctuary. Here is Keetam Bird Sanctuary. ठीक है. यहाँ पे है बारसे रोडोडेंड्रॉन पार्क. बारसे रोडोडेंड्रॉन पार्क. On this side, we have a Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve, the famous Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve, which is also a UNESCO World Heritage. Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve. ठीक है. Apart from this, you know that Sikkim lies in the Himalayan region, so obviously there might be some fault because this place is vulnerable to the seismic zones. तो यहाँ पे एक है आपका fault है, a very famous fault. This is called as Gangtok lineament. और यहाँ पे भी एक fault है, that is the Teesta fault. ठीक है. So these are the faults, these are the places which make it more vulnerable to the earthquakes and other such seismic activities. So now we'll see the case study, and in this case study you can draw the map, this one, because we have shown the South Lonak Lake here. यहाँ पे this is the South Lonak Lake, river Lachenchu, river Lachungchu, both combined confluence at a place, and here we have a dam also ना. एक dam भी है यहाँ पे, that is Changtang Dam. ठीक है. Changtang Dam. Changtang Dam. So both rivers are confluencing. That is the river Lachenchu, river Lachungchu, both joins, and there is a dam called as Changtan Dam. Further, these rivers confluence and turn out to be a one single entity, and this one single river is called as Teesta River, which finally enters into the West Bengal and then joins the Brahmaputra and Bangladesh में भी enter कर जाती है. ठीक है. So this case study is about the Glacial Lake Outburst Flood. ठीक है. And we have picked up the place called South Lonak Lake or the lake called South Lonak Lake. So the very first question would be what is Glacial Lake Outburst Flood? ठीक है. Basically, the lakes which have been formed because of the glaciers or due to the glacial retreat. I am showing you a diagram that will help you to have a better insights. एक बार इसको देखो. अरे ठीक है, इसमें अभी नहीं आ रहा है, कोई नहीं. बेसिकली होता क्या है कि सपोज दिस इज अ ग्लेशियर. ठीक है. दिस इज अ very large piece of glacier, and this is what we calling it as a lake. ठीक है. This is a lake that has a water here, और यहाँ पे जो है these are the rocks or the moraines. These are the moraines that turned out to be the dams which are inhibiting the movement of water to go out of this zone. So this is basically यहाँ पे water है, and this is being constantly fed by the glaciers. As the glaciers are melting, so they are contributing into the waters of it. ठीक है, contributing into the waters of it. So what happens? Sometimes this glacial lake releases the water that is being stored inside this basin. Why? That has numerous reasons. That could be because of cloudburst. ठीक है, that could be because of avalanches. That could be because of the temperature rise, the rise in temperature. That could be because of some earthquakes. ठीक है, वो कैसे? देखो, suppose this is a glacial lake and this has a lot of water here. So what will happen? Suppose a piece of ice dissected and broken from this part, and if it falls into this lake, so what will happen? The entire water that is present here, it will splash out and jump out. It will overspill out of this area and will reach to the downstream area. ठीक है, डाउनस्ट्रीम में आ जाएगा तो ऑब्वियसली दिस विल क्रिएट अ फ्लड लाइक सिचुएशन. Another issue, that is the temperature rise. You know, the temperatures are rising. Global warming is impacting the entire earth. And as per the data says, data कहता है कि the South Lonak Lake have expanded to 1.5 times since 1998. ठीक है, और ऐसे ही multiple lakes are there which are expanding because the glaciers are melting. The glaciers are adding water into it. In fact, South Lonak Lake के अलावा there is one another lake, that is North Lonak Lake, and this North Lonak Lake has expanded 2.5 times since 1998. ठीक है, तो global warming is one such reason, because global warming is responsible for the expansion of these lakes. Much more water is being added into it. ठीक है, avalanches का मैंने बता दिया. If a piece of ice, a big ice, fall there in the form of landslide, that is being called as an avalanche, entire this water will spill over and it will reach to the downstreams. Another reason is cloudburst. I have said cloudburst. Cloudburst basically होता क्या है? Cloudburst is the incident when 10 centimeter of rainfall, 10 centimeter rainfall occurs over 24 hours in any area. ठीक है, अगर किसी भी एरिया में 24 आवर्स तक जो रेन हुआ, दैट इज अराउंड 10 सेंटीमीटर, दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज क्लाउड बर्स्ट. बेसिकली इट इज द सडन रिलीज ऑफ वाटर फ्रॉम द क्लाउड्स. सो यहाँ पे in 2023 one more incident that has happened here. In fact, this is an incident which has triggered this. ये लेक था, already the lake was full of water and a cloud burst has occurred here, due to which the there was a sudden heavy rain, and due to this heavy rain, the water size, the water volume of this glacier lake increases, and the entire water starts overspilling out of this zone. ठीक है, another reason can be the earthquakes, and this place is something which is vulnerable to the earthquakes. I have shown you a couple of faults there. Apart from that, there are more than 20 faults that are surrounding this region. So whenever the earthquake occurs, these moraine dams, you can see moraines, these shift their places. And as they are shifting their places, they are paving the way for the water to come out of this zone. Just 1 or 2 days before this event, there was an earthquake, and its epicenter was in Nepal. Its epicenter was in Nepal in the year 2023, and the magnitude of this earthquake was 6.1 or 2 ऐसे कुछ था. ठीक है, so this was a very severe earthquake, and due to which the moraines disrupt and paved the way for water to spill over this. ठीक है, and what has happened, जैसे ही आपका पानी है spilled over this, यहाँ से पानी has spilled over it enters into this Lachenchu. Finally, it has broken the Chungtung Dam also. And once the Chungtung Dam was broken, the entire water has reached to the downstream area in this area, and a lot of destruction has occurred here. Okay. So this was the main scenario that has brought the flood-like situation and also brought the hazardous and devastating situation in the Sikkim. In fact, expert says that it's not all about the natural forces, but it is a man-made disaster. Why? Because mining was going on there. Okay, infrastructure has been built rampantly in the past few years, highways और ये सब. इसके अलावा डैम बिल्डिंग वाज गोइंग ऑन. डैम बिल्डिंग के साथ साथ tunnels have been created so that a seamless movement is possible along the border areas. So all these factors combined together are responsible, because these are the factors which are responsible for the depletion of vegetation. Vegetation and forest cover was depleted because of this. और अगर vegetation deplete होगा तो obviously vegetation act as a buffer against these floods and all. So this incident become more hazardous. ठीक है. So overall data says that in this particular incident 40 people got died and 76 people went missing because of the Glacial Lake Outburst Flood, that is the South Lonak Lake में जो हुआ in the year 2023. अभी तक का so far it has been the massive one, although Glacial Lake Outburst floods होती रहती हैं इंडिया में, but their effect was not very high magnitude, but this was the one which has brought a huge disaster for the Sikkim. In fact, many of the army personnel that are there on the rescue operations, they were also missing in this. Okay, so overall you have to just write the 2 lines, 1 or 2 lines for data I have given you about the Lonak lakes, and in fact you can write more data. Okay, in this flood, in this GLOF, 5 lakh cubic meters of water, 5 lakh cubic meters of water has been released from the lake. Itna amount of water has been released from the South Lonak Lake, due to which the entire Sikkim went under the flooding like situation, or they got inundated. Fine. So that is all about this case study. Thank